Wake up in the morning, I don't got no worries, cause it's a beautiful day. So many wonder how long we will be here. Tell them that we're here to stay. Hey yo, let's get it. Boss Talk straight from the city with true heart. We got champs in the making and champs that are root them on. Got that all sport, optimal prime, ready to dominate. The hottest conversations uncensored, this the time and place. Boss Talks, keep it uncensored, it's all hard. You could be from all walks, come tune in to Boss Talks. Got that all sport, optimal prime, ready to dominate. Hottest conversations uncensored, this the time and place. Boss Talks.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, Boss Talk Uncensored. I'm your host, Tino Amaya, with my good friend, co-host, Jeff Copi.
Yes, sir. Monroe Nutrition, Triple D Liquidation. We are Monroe. My guy, Tino Amaya.
You know, Amaya's Fresh Mexican Grill, where we make everything fresh daily. My mama's there every morning making salsas and guacamole. And of course, Tino Amaya State Farm Insurance, where we've been protecting people for over 100 years, helping people recover from the unexpected. And then, of course, Amaya Group, Inc. Well, listen, man, if you have a business, restaurant, looking to revamp some things, give us a call. We love to travel. We love to help other restaurateurs out. All right, so now that that's out of the way, man.
I feel like every time I get on this, I feel like I want to freestyle.
I know, right?
I
feel
don't really
there
got
should be,
nothing, so.
I know, and I can't beatbox, so I mean,
Right.
this is
Someone
it.
throw the instrumental on. I got something to say.
All right, so listen, we're here today. Good friend. Everybody knows downtown. I call him downtown Devon Rucker. I'm not exactly even sure how that happened. It was at one of our comedy shows,
That's
I
where it
think,
started,
right?
for
It was
sure,
yeah. Everyone started downtown Devon Rucker, who's, let's see, he's a comedian. He is an entrepreneur, kind of I'm going to say a self-made entrepreneur. And then, of course, he was most notably known as the hot dog guy from right? Monroe's original for a long time.
That is correct.
My guy. And then, of course, I mean, you're from Monroe, right?
From Monroe.
So let's start. Tell us a little bit about who you are, like where you grew up, where you went to school. Give us a rundown. Who is Devon Rucker?
Who is Devon Rucker? Born in Detroit, made in Monroe.
I
Went
like
to
it.
Manor. I've been working on that.
like
Don't
that.
let me
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Went to Manor Elementary, go Bobcats, up the ranks to Monroe Middle School. I played in the band, trumpet. Went over to Monroe High, and it was my first day of freshman year, and I knew I'm not going to be here for 4 years. I just had that gut feeling of something's telling me it's not going to be here. Sophomore year, I transferred over to SMCC. Graduate from there, go off to college thinking I'm going to be a police officer.
Wow.
I loved Walker, Texas Ranger.
Okay.
I knew I couldn't be
In the
you know,
arms
walk-
of... Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be Trevette. I probably move to Texas. I'm like, that's how I'll buy a ranch and retire. But God had other plans.
Yeah.
He laughed.
Yeah.
So what college you go to?
I went to the community college.
Okay.
So I started off, did 1 year there, and then I moved away and I went to mid-Michigan. All my friends were going to Central Michigan. I'm like, let me go.
Bro, I went there too.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But
Chips, right? Fire up chips.
Fire up
Yeah.
shits.
I
But
don't even know what
the,
we were.
The mid-Michigan, I think they were,
Lakers?
no,
No.
I think they were like the treetops, something to do with trees.
Something, man. I don't even know.
Registered for classes, and that's another story. We never went. And I moved home, and I said, I got to figure something out. I'm back home with my mom at this point.
Yeah.
And
Now, what year was this? How long ago was this?
This would have been 2016.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, 6 years, 6 years ago.
Oh, you were there in 2016?
No. Excuse me. Going back from the college, that was 2012. Moving
Okay,
back home.
Okay.
Just kind of catching up into transitioning from moving back home from college life, I'll say, quote unquote, into what am I going to do?
Right.
So I went back to the YMCA. I worked at Meyer, did a few things, but never career oriented. The whole idea of being a police officer was thrown out the door when I got my second DUI. I said no.
Oh, no.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so I have 2 DUIs. I actually want to start a platform, Dev, not Dewey, spelled DUI. And my slogan is, I got 2, so you don't have to get 1.
Wow.
I love that.
I love that, dude.
So it's something I don't talk about a lot because we've all got past. I'm still dealing with it up until this day, but I think I need to speak more on it Because I wasn't even the drinker. Like, I've never been a drinker, but you get 2 DUIs before your 21st birthday, someone starts telling you got a problem.
Right.
When really I was just chasing tail.
Right.
To be honest.
Yeah.
And can I say this? And I don't even want to go like I don't mean to take it deep right away, but I guess this is the good stuff. Is like someone once told me is to share that journey, not for you and your story, but for somebody else that's going through that. And like and we're gonna unfold into everything that you are now, but like if someone else that has maybe even 1 DUI or any of that stuff, and they see where you're at now and they understand you got 2, or had 2, I want to say had 2, that's going to empower them a lot.
And that's what I hopefully can do for anybody that needs it, because it is tough. Like I said, when you're not even really a big drinker, but obviously God had a plan to say, hey, you're going to help somebody down the road. And that's what I had to fall into my faith and really say, what's going on here? What is my purpose?
Yeah. And that reminds me of, you guys know that Richard Cabral? He was on the Mayans FC or whatever that show was. But so a friend of mine sent me a video of his, and it kind of reminds me of like what you're saying, right? I mean, the only difference is he was like a real gangbanger, like in and out of prison.
So
like,
was Dev.
Right? Yeah. Dev was like, yeah, look at that. There it is right there. Somebody came collecting. See, I thought, listen, and we'll talk about you being a new husband. I thought that was just, Grace was like, all right, now, listen, now you can't leave.
You're going out.
First test of marriage.
She pulled a Goodfellas on you. Now you can't leave. Lock the door on him. But anyway, so this guy's story is super, super compelling, and that's one of the things he talks about in his story is for a long time he felt embarrassed by his past, right? But now he's like, he's wrote a book about it. He's doing talks about it. He's, doing kind of like this one-man show, and he's talking about, being a gangbanger and where he came from in East Los Angeles and, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, man, it's so powerful. And my own brother, I was talking to my brother about it. My brother, my oldest brother, in and out of prison, just doing some tremendous things now, youth pastor, and just really just living for God. That guy is living for God, 100%. But
on his Kyle Buckley status, I like that.
So yeah, right, yeah, man. So, but anyway, so my brother and I were just talking about him today. My brother's like, man, you have no idea how much I use that guy's testimony in the inner city Toledo, and how many kids like now you see like it's not just this. You can actually move on from this and do so much more. So, same thing with you, man. I mean, what a compelling story. I never knew.
Yeah, and I have to tell people because it is part of what made me.
Yeah.
It would have just been too easy let me pick up and move out of here because I already tarnished my name, or I could dig my roots deep.
Right.
And let them know I'm going to walk in purpose, and one day it will come out in conversation. I will be able to help one. I can't help everybody. You can't.
No.
Right.
If I can help the one person that says, and there are people right now, I have friends out there that says, Dev, if you can't do it, if they're not giving you your license back, how am I going to get mine? And I said, you just got to remain faithful, because it will happen. Even all the trials and tribulations and money.
Yeah.
And money. Sometimes I laugh at the situation, because I say I had a normal job when I'm on the phone for 50, 60 minutes with some of these companies trying to sort stuff out. Still to this day, guys. I haven't had a DUI in over 9 years.
Wow.
And it's still affecting the way that we travel today. So it's something that I can definitely help someone out with, but it has not hindered me at all.
Right.
It's something that we can all boo-hoo about it, but at the end of the day, bills got to be paid.
Right, absolutely.
And that's where, going back to putting my foundation back in Monroe, and thankful for the Fanola family who gave me the opportunity to start something.
So let's talk about that really quick, because how long did you work for Monroe's Original then? A couple of years.
It was 5 years. I gave myself a 5-year plan. I said, I'm going to stay here for 5 years.
Okay.
This is solid ground. This is something that's not going away. This is something I love.
Right.
And then when it started with the videos, Misty came to me and said, let's make a silly video. I said, let's go.
You're like, man, that's right up my alley.
I've been waiting for this. Where
this
stuff wasn't happening in 2016, 2015.
Right,
People weren't doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And her being her, threw on the chili dog hat. We put a little "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog" on, and we rocked and rolled. And that video had like 14,000 views, and I'm like, whoa.
I remember that.
And
Yeah, I do
looking
too.
back at it now, I'm like, this was all pixelated, and it wasn't that long ago. Like,
Right,
it was
yeah.
2017, but now going in, 5 years later of where you're at from there, it's really cool to see where.
Yeah. I remember somebody, because like right around that time, like we got, I was blowing up on Facebook and Instagram, but I wasn't doing any videos. You know what I mean? We were just doing like still a lot of still photos and things like that. And somebody sent me like, dude, have you seen this? You're like big on social media. Have you seen this? And I'm like, the hell is this video? Like, what is this? This is getting a hot dog suit. And who's this lady? Like, what is she doing? Dude, it was so, I thought, oh my word, that is so, like, I just thought it was cool as hell, man. Watching you guys just kind of, then I would see you guys outside because you were like actually standing outside sometimes with the hot dog suit on.
Oh, yeah.
Just like.
With dogs
come
out
on
there.
in. Yeah,
Right?
right,
A hot dog guy in a suit with 3 golden doodles. I mean, you can't write that.
No,
Right,
man.
right.
That's awesome. So then, like, what was the conversation with them when you first started? Would you just regular hot dog maker? What'd you do?
I was in the kitchen.
Okay.
I was in the kitchen. Wherever I worked, I wanted to be the best. When
Yeah.
I worked at Planet Fitness, I said, I want Planet Fitness to call me one day to be a rep for them. I always hone in on the Jake from State Farm. Everyone, it's created a brand and a character.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing from the back of the kitchen, just because I thought, but that's where I knew I could thrive. Like, I can be diligent. I can be here in the kitchen and do a great job at it.
Yeah.
I know we only serve 3 things here: hot dogs, chips, and root beer.
Right,
but I'm
right,
going
right.
to do it as if I'm serving unto the Lord with these hot dogs, chips,
Amen.
and root beer.
Yeah.
And then when they gave me the opportunity to step out of there and do the camera work, and then through Joe's French Italian, when they took that over, I started in the kitchen as a dishwasher. It said no male servers, no male servers. And I took the menu, learned the whole thing, prices, weights, all of it. And I went back to, because I'm friends with them.
Yeah,
Tony's one of
yeah.
my best friends. So it was tough, going from the hot dog to, you're not good enough for steaks and seafood. I'm like,
Right.
let me show you
Let
what
me
I
show
got.
you. Yeah.
And then I ended up taking the head server position there and training people. This is how you're supposed to serve.
Yes. Yeah.
I can praise to all the servers out there that can take the 3, 4, 5 tables. I'm an intimate server.
Yeah.
They call me Two Top Dev.
Yeah.
But I can also read the room and you can tell who wants more.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
9, and that was really cool. And once again, they gave me the opportunity to make videos.
Yeah.
We're at Joe's French Italian, one of your oldest establishments in Rome. You're not making videos.
Right.
We go there to get perch, some butter noodles, and get out of there.
Right. Old school.
But being able to have that into everything, there's a time for everything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I maxed out. I didn't want to learn to cook there. I was a great server. I was still getting hours at the hot dog stand. But then I heard about this automotive marketing job. And I saw my buddy was doing it online from home. And I'm like, are you talking to somebody right now? And the call would go like this. Hi, thanks for calling Car Deal Finder. This is Chris. Were you taking a look at a Ford Explorer? And you were obviously taking a look on one of our sites at a Ford Explorer. And we were creating leads and generating leads to go to dealerships. And I'm like, whoa, if I could do this from home, this would be pretty good. And that was the decision of I had it really good at the hot dog stand, working with your best friend, created this whole family. People thought that was my mom.
I'm not
That
gonna
was my
lie.
dad.
I'm not gonna lie at all. I thought you were related to the family. You know what I mean? Just because you were there all the time.
Every shirt had a hot dog
Yeah,
on it.
exactly, yeah.
I couldn't go anywhere without saying, you're the hot dog guy or how's your mom?
Yeah.
Because I took the brand as if it was my own. I treated it as if this was my family generation, from generation restaurant. So it was just realizing if I could do this with the hot dog stand, let me go try it in this corporate world. I've never really stepped out.
Let me slow you down for half a second.
Yeah.
So you're working for them at the hot dog place. They're starting to give you some autonomy to like do the videos, what was the conversation like when you guys started the social media aspect of, like, was it you that said, hey, I've got an idea, I think this is what we should be doing? Or was it Misty that was more like thinking outside the box? 'Cause you guys did some outside the box stuff before anyone was doing it in this area.
I have to give, Misty had she was ready to go with wigs. She was ready to go with everything.
She had the
costumes.
props.
She was ready. And we were doing everything off our cell phones.
Yeah.
Everything was off the cell phones. There was no budget. There was no big production. It was just, let's just be us.
Right.
And let's see what happens. And that's where it really just took off. Where people were waiting. I'd be at the grocery store. When's the next content coming? When's the next content coming? When's the next?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're really watching.
I like that.
And still to this day, like in this small town, I love it because that means the marketing is working and it is being reached. We never boosted anything.
Right.
It was pure, just
all organic.
What do people want? And if they keep liking this, let's rock and roll. Where slowly getting other people involved in the videos, and then it was everybody was jumping in on videos. If you go back to 2019, like it was really cool to have a whole couple restaurants in on this.
Yeah,
And
I can tell you right now, again, I didn't start doing videos. I had a ton of content, and we had a ton of stills, but I wasn't doing videos until probably, honestly, COVID is when I literally dropped one of my first videos, and same thing. I mean, we got such a great response from it. It was like,
this is what you want.
Yeah, maybe we'll keep going. Then we'll keep doing it, and so now, we drop video, I put videos out there and try to, make it as informal as possible. But
It's the way. That's the way we get our information.
Josh and I were just talking about that. Like, what are you going to read a post or are you going to watch a 15 to 30 second video that's entertaining and tells a story? And that's really, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
100%. In my own opinion, I believe the newspaper's on its way out unless they transition in a big way.
Yeah.
And we're all of us are on our phones. The kids are on their tablets. This is where we're getting our information from. And I'm super excited just to be a part of it. And I'll say a little ahead of the wave, at least in Monroe County. Because you go to Detroit, you go to Royal Oak, they've been doing this. They got production companies.
Yeah.
Around here, we don't have much in a sense of production.
We got the dev group.
We got the dev group.
Yeah. And I think that's...
We got the dev group, and that was why staying home was so important because I didn't want anybody else really covering the stuff. I care about it too much. I care about the people not to want to cover the stuff and to share their stories and their success of how they're doing it.
Well, you know what? To that point, I heard, and I copy from Gary Vee because he's the one that said this, so I'm going to say it the way he said it, or as close to it as possible. But, he made a point a while back of saying, like, Twitter is like where news breaks now, right? That's what Twitter is pretty much has been. TikTok now has replaced the infomercial. So, the guy late at night, they used to do all those crazy infomercials and if you call now, right? He's like, well, that's TikTok, right? TikTok has become the infomercial. Facebook is what it is. It's still a family connector. It's still a social platform for connecting friends, family, blah, blah. But it's also becoming kind of more or less like a sales type of platform, right? I mean, their algorithms picking up a lot of what you're looking at, either online or even when you stay a little bit too long on a post, boom, they pick it up, right? And so now you have Instagram, and Instagram is kind of like becoming the same thing. It's almost like a newspaper. You can stop and read what you want to read, and then of course you have LinkedIn, which everyone always forgets about. LinkedIn truly, in my opinion, is just like a online newspaper. You got articles, you have content that people can create, you have still photos, things like that. It really has kind of become that platform. So to your point, I think the newspaper really is, I don't know very many people that still read it that are under 30. And then even when you get to that, 31 to 50, I don't really know. The percentages has to drop dramatically. The only people that are still reading a newspaper are probably in their 60s to 80s,
Right.
Realistically, So, all right, so catch us up then. So now you're working there. You start to think about career.
Start thinking of career, and it really honed in on this phrase, if we can do this with the hot dog, just imagine what we could do for another business.
Wow.
And where I was was the automotive marketing company. I started January 2nd, 2020. March 13th hits. Everyone gets sent home. I've only been there for 2 months. And it was my first time really outside of Monroe in a corporate world setting. So I look over and I'm seeing, Joe Louis be demolished. I'm hitting the ice rink on my lunch breaks and doing a couple laps. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But, that was downtown Dev of Detroit, but it just wasn't home. I'm like,
Right.
This is cool, don't get me wrong, but this isn't home.
Right.
I would drive home every day like, this isn't me. March hits. We're all sent from home. I'm packing up my desk. My boss says, I'm going to keep you. I'm like, I'm thinking we're all getting let go. And I'm like, I said, I got to ask. Scott makes way more money than me on these phones. You know, I know Tanisha does really good over here. I just have to ask why. He said, when you walk into a room, Devin, this is one of my best compliments I've ever received. He said, people light up.
Yeah.
He said,
That's facts.
you bring an energy that anybody can make dials. And I said, that's the nicest compliment I've ever received. Thank you. Worked through COVID. I got to buy my first house. I was working from home. So rolling out of bed, 7:58, hopping on the phone, just making dials, catching up on sports. Still, it was the biggest blessing. Everyone else never collected unemployment. I got to work the whole job through.
Wow.
But then we had these morning stand-ups, afternoon stand-ups. Every day at 2 o'clock, we'd hop on the set and just teams meeting. And one day I was just kind of in it because you don't have to have your camera on. And they said, yeah, our dev team's going to handle that. I said, what am I handling? They said, no, our development team. And I said, oh, dev team, dev group, the development group. I said, and that's when it clicked.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting at this desk and I realized if I can just get 1 in every 10, somehow this company makes millions. As I make my dials, if I can just get one person to convert from that Ford Explorer over to the Chevy Traverse and just be interested in it, this company makes millions? Hold on. Let me go reevaluate some stuff. So that's when I went to the drawing board as I'm still working for someone else making my dials. And I start putting my goals up there as I'm sitting at my desk 8 hours a day. And then it happened. I had to find the right team. I had all the good ideas. I said, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to stay local. I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
That was one of my mentors said, never get a partner. And maybe that works for him. And that's whenever you're taking advice from people, take it with a grain of salt. What works for somebody doesn't work for other people.
100%.
Absolutely.
And as we all listen to personal development, you have to pick and choose what you're listening to.
Yeah.
What's good for Peter is not good for Paul.
Right.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
So for me, whenever I speak for myself, I needed a team.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with the photo shoot with Joe Rendina that I just asked him to be a part of what him and his brother Pete were doing. I said, I'll just hold a light, man. I love what you guys are doing with Real Mature. Check it out on YouTube. It was one of their projects. I said, I just want to hold a light. Well, with COVID happening, Pete and Joey couldn't have a production crew in their house. They didn't want to come back out. I get there. I thought, they want me to shoot it. I'm like, whoa. You guys want me to shoot this? Like, I don't know. You just had a big production team, but it was my first real test.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, I could do this. Once again, not by myself, with a team.
Yeah.
Pete, organized on every single shot. This is how it's gonna. I'm like, dang, this dude's good. I'm like, you're just working at your dad's place, like, and he was hating it because it was during COVID, and he was working open to close.
Yeah.
And
I remember he dropped off food a couple times to us because they were delivering.
Yes.
Yeah, they were delivering all over town, and we would call down there. My guys would, because we were still open doing takeout and stuff. And I'm sorry, but their wings slap. I mean, let me just shameless plug for Pete's Garage really quick. I'm sorry, man, but if you haven't a Wingstop, nothing, ain't got it.
Right.
B-Dubs, sorry, you had it at one time, but Pete's. I'm sorry. My guys, we did the Pepsi challenge. We were so bored during COVID. We got wings from a lot of different places because we were just like, we'd make to-go orders and then you're stuck. Like you're just standing there, right?
Yeah.
And we were all together. I'm sorry if anyone's listening to this. No, we didn't wear masks around each other all the time. Sorry, we didn't. I'm just being honest. But dude, we took the Pepsi challenge. Pete's won every time.
Really?
Oh, dude, I love them. Anyway,
that's awesome.
But yes, they were delivering. We saw them coming up handful of times.
We started working together on a few different projects, and as the clientele, I'm still working for Detroit Trading at this time. It was funny, one day I was going to film, and I had my headset on as I'm like filming their stuff, but I wanted to maximize my time.
Yeah.
And if it meant making a few dials while I was getting this done, I wanted to do it.
Right. I think, real quick, I want to slow you down because I believe that there's a lot of young entrepreneurs that are new to the game who think that once that they decide they want to be an entrepreneur or start a business or whatever, they have to quit their job to do it. And I think that's so powerful. Like, let your 9-to-5 fuel your business, and also don't have this dream and this idea and go to your 9-to-5 and then not give yourself enough energy to work on your business also. So I just love how you touch on that because there's so much power in that.
Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna tag on that really quick. One of my former partners. So two things I'm gonna tag on. One, I've had partnerships, right? And I've had great ones, and I've had not so great ones. So to your point, do I think partnerships work? I think it depends on the people, right? It depends on the energy of the group. If you have good energy and you guys are all in alignment with where your core ideologies are, right? I think it works great. My old partner, Sean, shout out to Sean Falk, one of my mentors, one of my old partners, business partners, and Greg Yeager. I mean, great guys, old business partners of mine. We did a lot of stuff back in the day and just learned a lot from Sean. Probably one of the best partnerships I ever had. But we knew when it was time, kind of to your point. I think everything has a season.
Amen.
Yeah.
And we knew when it was time for us all to just kind of go our separate ways. You know, we were all going in different directions and we were growing in different directions, and it was just time. But anyway, and then I've had some bad partnerships. You know, I've had some partnerships that you're like, man, why the fuck did I partner up with this guy?
Yeah.
Jesus. You know, I mean, it just happens. You know what I mean? So,
and they're both equally as important.
well, because you learn,
Yes.
right? You learn so much from both things, right? I learned from my bad partnerships, there was good and bad that I took away from that time. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, my good partnership, same thing. That was good and bad. Even though it was a great partnership, we made a lot of money together. We were very successful together. We traveled the country together. There was still like, okay, there was still some stuff that I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever do that again. You know what I mean? But, I think it's great the way you guys are moving, kind of like, not even so much as a group. I love when I see you guys. Now you have Spooky with you.
And I have to touch on that. With Justin, adding him to the team, he was the guy comes with so much knowledge.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful thing. It took me a while to kind of like, coming from someone that has been doing this for as long as Justin has, it took him a while, I believe, to kind of buy into what we were doing, because he has worked for the news. He has worked for big oil companies. Like, this guy is a professional, but I had to hone him in on it. We're going to do it local. We're not going to do it in Toledo. We're not going to do it in wherever he did with the oil company. We're going to do it at home. And it took a little while, but when he bought in, we went to the next level. Wow. And then when I was introduced to Spooky through the Taste Of podcast with Brain Jerk, the first time I met this dude, I'll never forget this. Sitting at Pete's Garage while all the commotion was going on at Taste Of, we had a 5-minute conversation. And from that 5-minute conversation, I knew.
Oh, dude, he's a sharp cat.
I love Spooky.
Right?
Yeah, he's a sharp cat, dude.
That's my guy.
I mean, it just a complete, for his age, complete visionary with what he does.
He sees it. For some people, they want to work the job and then go home.
Yeah.
He wants more.
Yeah.
He wants more. He deserves more. I tell him all the time, he's going to have the world.
Yeah.
Whatever he wants in this world, like he can go get. He's that type of person. Every single person that we come in contact introduces himself, how you doing, or at least asks about somebody, and that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Every place we go to.
But see, that's what I mean. Your group, everyone that's in your group so far that I met, Pete, Justin, especially Spooky. I mean, everyone, and you, of course. I mean, you guys are so, you're so humble.
Genuine.
About it. Genuine. Yeah. Great, great word. Genuine about who you are and what you do. You know what I mean? You're not pretentious. I mean, you could easily be like, oh, man, we're the development group. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things that I love about this group that, even now that I'm kind of I've been a loner for most of my life, and so like now being able to have these relationships that I'm forging with you guys, I mean, I like that we're all kind of walking in alignment in that way. We're all very humble people. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's about the community first and foremost, our families next, and then our business. Oh, yeah, by the way, we're actually doing this because this is what we do for a living.
Right.
But it's not the forefront of who we are, which is like really cool to see, man.
And having Grace, be our lead photographer and to be able to do that with the family aspect. I know.
Well, let's touch on Princess Grace for a minute.
Yeah, because honestly, looking at Grace and like just hearing her talk and knowing who she is, she has such a beautiful soul.
Yeah,
she really does.
100%,
and it glows. And you two together, I'm like, one day I want something like that. Like I love it.
Yeah. You know what? Quick shout out to Monroe Nutrition, dude. How come you have stickers on?
Cheers.
Here? What happened? Come on, kid. Where is the marketing?
That's on me.
See, that's a LeBron thing.
We ran out. Listen.
If this was a Jordan thing, There'd be still look, I'm branded, baby. I'm branded like
Monroe
Jordan,
City Church.
right? I'm
Okay,
branded.
all right. Sorry, we've been just pumping the T-bombs out. I got to get with my sticker man. He told me they was gonna be done
Man,
2 days
a
ago.
true LeBron fan to make excuses. I mean, you got it right.
Just adjustments.
But,
Just adjustments.
I pulled a hamstring in the fourth. I got you.
Oh man, what's he about to break right now? The scoring record?
He's about to actually. He'll probably win the Michael Jordan MVP award.
Okay.
Anyway, back to our regular
face that. I'm not even gonna face the camera that way.
back to our regular broadcasting. So, talk to us a little bit about Grace. Like, where'd you guys meet? I mean, obviously, probably, I'm guessing high school.
Yep, she was a little younger. A friend of mine, his little brother and her were friends, and we had just became friends. And I actually got her a job at Joe's as serving, and we had met through mutual friends. And
Now, how long have you guys been dating?
we've been.
Or like dating before marriage? I mean.
It was 2017 officially.
Okay. I was gonna say you better remember these dates
I'm
because
about to
this is
say,
going on tracks, bro.
She gonna see this.
She's gonna,
Right, watch
it's going.
right now.
She's,
Just watch
she's
it.
You thought one eye
like,
was black.
listen,
She about
as
to
soon
get
as-
the other one.
Then next time we see Dev, he's gonna have the cotton up his
I'm
nose.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, our first kiss was October 10th, 2017.
Wow.
Okay.
And that was really cool. But before that, we were friends for 3 years before it did nothing. Like,
Yeah.
that was my homegirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool as can be. But then we started hanging out every single day, and I'm like, Lord, I made
Yeah.
a wager. I know he's not a gambling man, but I said, you give me her, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm so
Good for
sweet.
life. Yeah.
Right.
And at that point, I had moved back to my house. It was that 2017 era. I'm sleeping on mom's couch. She has a home, with her parents. She has a room.
Yeah.
She wanted to sleep on the couch with me. And then I'm like, you know what? I got to upgrade a little something. So I went to Walmart, got a little tent set up, and we moved to the backyard.
Oh man.
And once again, she had a house.
Yeah.
I had a tent.
Yeah.
And she came and she decorated that tent as if it was a loft apartment.
That's
Wow.
And I said, this one day, I'm gonna pay you back.
I'm gonna make you proud, baby. Yeah.
Once again, from a hot dog suit, when people, that's your boyfriend. Proud to say, yeah, he's
That's my
mine.
guy.
To where we're at, I wouldn't be here. I
Wow.
would not be. There would be no Dev group. There would be no downtown Dev.
Yeah.
It's my joy, guys. Like when
Right.
everything, I get to go home and just be me, and she's accepted it from sleeping on mom's back porch to the couch to the mega tent to the beautiful duplex we live in today.
Wow.
So without her, for me, I had to find that partner, whether
Yeah.
it be business, but then also life and wife, and I'm so blessed to have.
Okay. So
love that.
yeah, man. So talk to us a little bit about the proposal. How'd that go down?
So it started off.
Wait. Did you ask Dad for his hand first?
Yep, and he said, "You don't want to marry her." And I said,
She's spoiled.
Yeah, he
No,
said,
I'm just kidding.
"You
I'm
don't
sorry,
want
man. I'm
this."
sorry, Grace. I'm kidding.
I said, I really do. And that was obviously prior to all the things she had already done for me. That I said, yeah, this is the girl I want to be with for
Right.
life.
Yeah.
So he gave me the blessing, and then I actually called her mom, and I think I was FaceTime with her. I was with Pete, of course, and she just repeated my name about 50 times. Devon. Oh my son. Oh my.
I love
I
that.
didn't know what to say, and if you know Grace's mom, you understand where Grace comes from. Spitting image, beautiful soul. Just that's the best way to describe her. And I went to one of the jewelry stores, and I said, Grace is she's particular on what she likes, and she had a good idea. She said, what if I gave you her grandmother's ring, and you proposed with that? And we were going up to Traverse City, so she loves wine. We were going to her favorite winery. I'm like, this is it. And that's funny. That's actually one of the songs I was playing driving up there. Scotty McCreery, he pretty much talks about how he found her. This, we're doing this, and she didn't pick up on anything that was going down. And the people at the winery knew we were with all of her family friends. We go on a summer trip with, so it was a big deal. And I start playing this song. It's so funny. I'm not crying, but we were gonna.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Right.
We were taking a photo as a family, and then I was gonna pull her to the side, and ask for her hand. Grace, being the photographer, beep beep beep. South timer looks at it. Devon, you're covering my dad. And mind you, my song had already started playing, so I only have 7 minutes for this whole thing to go down.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's good. I'm like, let's just dance. And she's like, no, my dad's covered. And And then slowly, as I pulled her away and we started dancing in the middle of the winery, I got down on one knee, and it just so beautiful.
I love that.
With
Dude,
all
that's
her,
awesome,
with her
man.
closest family and friends around, at her favorite place, looking over the valley of the Traverse City. Something I'll forever cherish and know. It was a perfect day, and it was funny because there was one couple that, as you know, her mom's taking photos, like the one couple behind us is not trying to be in it, and they actually were celebrating I believe their anniversary.
Okay.
So that was super cool. I'm like, no, any pointers? I'm like, you're gonna be in these photos for the
Yeah,
rest
yeah,
of my
yeah,
life, so you better give me something.
Right.
But to do it in that spot, so we went back after we got married to that winery, and
Yeah.
it's been really cool. I'm not saying the honeymoon phase is over. We're just getting started.
Yeah. Because
Right.
now, how long you guys been married now?
September 24th.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because I had the wedding in Chicago. Yeah.
So we're coming up on 3 months here, but it feels like I've known her my whole life. You know, she's knows everything about me. She trusts me. She believes in me.
Yeah.
We believe in each other. Like I said, I wouldn't have any of this without her and her motivation and be able to hold the fort down. We got a kid back at home. His name's Cash. He's an 8-year-old pit bull, and
Oh, yeah.
I know he would just be running around wild if
Yeah.
it wasn't for her holding down the fort. And she does all of our photography too. So
Yeah.
You guys know each other's love language?
I'm learning that hers is definitely physical touch. You know what I mean? And words of affirmation. She wants to be known that she's loved, and or me, I'm just what you got for me?
What you got for me?
Maybe something good.
Right.
That's one thing I really have to shout out though too. When people ask why'd you get married, this whole time through engagement and marriage, I've never gone to bed without my bed being made, and I've never went to bed without a meal. Once again, whenever I speak, it's for myself. Those are two things that were very important to me, and to have that every single day and that consistency. Girl, get this ring.
Right.
I gotta keep you.
For life. For
Right.
life.
Yeah.
And as well, for me, it's my faith. To have someone right next to me as we're praising the Lord, that's above it all.
Yeah.
Right.
This is all great.
He who finds a wife finds a beautiful thing.
It's super cool, and to have that and to have her believe in us together, and to know that we're walking in this journey together with him, I'm good.
Wow.
I love that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right. So dude, that was, whew.
Ooh, that got my heart going.
I know,
I feel
right?
good.
I'm like, wow, man.
Ladies, y'all got a high standard
Listen,
now.
I'm telling you, listen, Jeff's single. He's single. I mean, he is a LeBron fan, so he's got that going against him.
What LeBron say? A dabba dabba do. I know you know what I'm talking about. Right.
So bring us back to the beginnings of the development group. So now you got your team, but you guys weren't the development group at that point. You were just working with them, doing stuff with them, kind of like doing some stuff, and realized, okay, I need a group. How did the development group though become the development? Like, how did you guys form it? How did you put it together? What was that process like?
I was still on the phones working for Detroit Trading at the time, and I'm filing the LLC once again as I'm making phone calls to other people. September 11, 2020, I said, I want this to be official. This, once again, coming from just a hot dog stand where they gave me the reign just to kind of, I said, no, I really want to do this the right way. Let's figure this out. File that. 2021 comes. I've been working with Pete, and I just have to jump and ask him. And if it means giving up a little bit of this company, I told you I needed a partner.
Yeah.
So I go to Pete and I say, hey, I know this is your family establishment, but I have a really big dream, and it involves you.
Wow.
And when someone can, one, understand your dream and realize it doesn't happen without them, and then from them to leave their family establishment, which has been built for them,
Yeah.
to say, hey, this is where I'll really be happy at. I'm grateful. He's very grateful for everything. One of the most grateful people I know, Pete.
Yeah.
For everything he has and everything that's coming. But he wasn't happy. And so to see him step out of what was built for him and his family, to step into his purpose, powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful, man. Just to see the way that he acts, the way that he talks, the way his genuine gratitude of waking up every day and doing what he loves.
Right. You know what? And you see that, and I hope Pete doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but you see that, a different personality, because I've seen the Pete that was at Pete's garage when, you know, he was running around and doing his thing, and even the Pete that came to deliver food. And not to say he wasn't pleasant. Pete's a great guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Phenomenal. But to see his energy now, even when I first met with you guys, when you first were really launching the development group and sitting down talking and hearing this kid that's super intelligent, you know what I mean? Just an absolute intelligent guy. And to hear the vision and like, this is what we're going to do. And it was like, man, like, wow, let's go. I mean.
And for someone who just, once again, believed in the whole way.
Yeah.
Our first client, once again, while I was still working at Detroit Trading, was Corey Welch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a great client to have. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
yeah.
that.
Good.
And I'll
Another great guy.
Yeah.
sing it from the rooftops.
Listen, let's give him a free shout out. EXP Realty, Corey Welch, right across the street from you, from Monroe Nutrition.
Absolutely, man. And just like a very great guy.
Yeah.
Another one of those just genuine guys. I probably see him 3 times a day.
Wow.
And that's just in the shop, not even out the window.
Right.
And just an authentic, cool guy.
Yeah.
We started with him, and then we had, before all the cameras, we were doing phone videos again for Friendly Ford with Blaine Whitlow, and Nicole had, I'll say it on this, I went to another dealership. I went to 3 dealerships before I went to Friendly Ford. Took them all the same offer. One dealership asked me if I wanted to sell cars. I respectfully said no. One dealership never got back to me. And Friendly Ford has believed in us. They were our second client. Believed in us from the jump. And I'll forever be grateful to the Shankies and the Ernsts for believing in the development group before any of the glitz, any of the glam, any of the technology, when we just had our cell phones and a passion to let people know about people's businesses. So
I like that.
thank you guys so much for that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
But there was also days where, Pete had now left his family establishment where we didn't have an office at the time. There was no vans. We were just at my house. Grace was working her job at Dearborn Cardiology, hating her life.
Yeah.
But doing it to further
The cause.
the cause of the development group.
Right.
And once again, for that, I'll ever be grateful. So there'd be days Pete and I are just sitting there. We'd have our work done for the day and not really making any money. We've already talked to this person. How do we go from here? And now 2 years later to look back and, there was days we were twiddling our thumbs.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do everything possible with what we had.
Yeah. But you know what? That's a great point. I meet with business owners quite often. And not that I have a whole lot to say, or I'm not the brightest guy. I promise you that. I've been doing it. I've been self-employed for over 20 years. I've been in the restaurant business for 35 years. I've been doing it a long time. But I met with someone, and one of the things that they talked about was how soon they were going to start making money. That was one of the first questions they asked me. Well, how soon do you think we'll actually be able to make money? And I'm like, bro, you're in not even year 1. You're in month 4.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so to your testament, I mean, it's patience, man. The beginning of and Jeff, we've talked about, it's patience. It's understanding that, man, I've got to have a foundation set first.
Correct.
So it sounds to me like you guys during those beginning times were really setting the foundation of what the development group was going to be. Now, did you ever imagine that it would get to like where you're at now?
I think I'm imagining it beyond where we're at now.
Nice.
I'm very grateful for the steps that we're in. I'll use it. I always say, like with the development group, we're now entering year 3. We're toddlers. We're just now walking.
Yeah.
We got out of the poopy pants stage. We made it through the terrible twos. But now
we shit the bed a few times.
Right.
Honestly.
Yes. I love it. Yeah.
But now we're walking. We're not running yet, but now we're walking.
Yeah.
And every day I'm thankful. So I look beyond of where this could be, but also as we all experienced, this could be gone tomorrow.
100%.
So every day is so joyful just to be able to wake up and be able to employ people that they're coming to do what they love.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in a safe environment.
Right.
And I guess we're jumping a little farther, but it came to the point at Detroit Trading where we were getting more clients and I was having to choose.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out, and it was so beautiful. God's timing is perfect timing. I'm sitting there, do I call? Do I put in my 2 weeks? That 2 o'clock stand-up meeting, I called him one day. I was in Florida because you could work from anywhere.
Yeah.
And I said, boss, I'm not going to be on the stand-up today. He said, that's okay. Just shoot me an email when you get back home. Drive safe. Well, at 2:00, my boss comes. I'm like, I'm not answering this. I'm driving through Kentucky.
Right.
The VP of the company calls. I'm for sure not answering this. Check the email. They let go our whole department.
Wow.
So, but they gave us a 2-month severance. So it once again furthered that cause. If I was debating, I was in limbo. Do I say anything? And
yeah,
I was patient, and then I got the extra 2 months for not having to do anything. And that's when we really hit the ground. Pete's full time. I'm all in. Let's go, brother.
Yeah.
Started reaching out because of people like Corey Welch and because of the clientele he works with. Hey, what are you doing over here? Cool, let's make this relationship. And now, Monday through Friday, we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
And that led into, I guess we'll kind of transition into the Monroe County Sports Network. That's something I think is going to be really, really big. Not I think, I know. It's going to be really, really big. For these athletes, this is huge for them. This
well, since we're getting into that, let's talk a little bit more in depth about what the Monroe County Sports Network is and what your vision was behind even getting it started. So what exactly is it for those people that haven't seen it?
We're still with that. We're 2 months old. No,
Okay.
for that we are. What
Right.
are we doing?
Right.
But
Right.
I think through our other ventures, we laid a little bit tougher foundation of, hey, we're jumping in. We've already not established ourselves, but people are starting to see what we've done.
Right.
If we throw this aspect in there, let's be firm on how
Right.
we're gonna move.
Right.
So that's helped us a lot with the second venture. Still rocking. Don't people? Are you transitioning from sports to business? No. We're doing both.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't get it twisted here.
Right.
Business in the day, sports at night.
Right.
You know who you remind me of, and one of my favorite people like on the planet is Kevin Hart. And I'm gonna say it not because you're just funny and you're a comedian,
Goofy looking and
short.
Hey, go ahead, hit him, Jeff. Go ahead and hit him. Jeez,
No, but because Kevin Hart's thing is like, I don't have to just do one thing. Like, I can do multiple things, and I feel like I see that a lot in you because you're not just one dimensional. You have so many tools under your belt that you could do. And that's how Kevin Hart is. You see Kevin Hart in movies, comedy, investor, different commercials. Like,
So I'm on Shark Tank.
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
And I genuinely see that.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, fearless.
Yeah.
That's the first thought, honestly, that comes to mind. And I don't know if, again, I mean, I don't know how you grew up. I don't know if, that was something that you've always had in you, or like you just sort of, a lot of people have to develop that kind of sense of like, I don't give a shit. I'm jumping in, and if it works, great. If not, well, I'll try something else, or I'll I'll rework it, whatever it is. That's what I see in you. To your point, I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
Is like you're multifaceted, and I've been watching you guys over the last couple of years, and I know, Jeff and I talk quite a bit, and one of the things I said, I'm like, man, this guy's like you have no fear. Like you're ready to go. Seems like all the time.
It's something that, backstory on my father, Army Sergeant, Vietnam, mom, disabled, dad disabled. But there was no excuses. Dad played on the Detroit Pistons wheelchair basketball team. He boxed, he bowled. Mom worked 3 jobs. I didn't ever see excuses.
Right.
And at that age, seeing my mom do it all from a chair.
Yeah.
Wow.
I see some she's doing it from sitting down.
Right.
Starting her job, at MCOP, and it's funny how the clock comes back to now working for it. One of our clients being MCOP, where my mom was the executive secretary. Sally Pritchett, the old
Oh man, I
executive
remember
director.
Sally. Yeah, she was a sweetheart, man.
So to be there is really cool, and then to jump over to Sensational Beginnings, where now I'm in that building with John.
Yeah,
as he's giving us
yeah,
space.
yeah.
To even the Gap, where we were out there with the hot dog stand. So it's seeing my mom forge the way for me, man, of no excuses. What is there to be afraid about?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's what really helps me with even, starting to speak out about my past of always wanting to, I don't know if I could say this. They're going to say, I'm over that.
Right.
I'm way beyond that. But not having fear and jumping into it so someone else can say, I can do it too. If I could just be a light, once again, for one person to say, okay, he did this and he can do it, or he's from our town, or he went to Manor Elementary. I go to Manor Elementary. That's what I went to 5th graders too.
Right.
Finally, I'm going to tell you guys, SMCC, you better let let me come speak to these kids at career day. They haven't yet. And that being my alma mater, I got Waterloo reaching out, asking me to come speak to the kids. And I'm like,
I'm going to be there, Waterloo.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Hold on. I'm a Wildcat.
okay.
I'm a Waterloo Wildcat.
Let's go.
Okay, so
you better be there too. Listen, I'm gonna reach out to the girl that's setting it up
Okay.
and be like, "Listen, you better have Copi there too."
Right.
I didn't even go to Waterloo.
Right.
I'm gonna be there.
I'm a Waterloo Wildcat.
But just to be able to have these kids say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I saw you at the YMCA," or there's kids right now that are in the graduating class that I was, their recess aide. Like back in the day when I was 23,
Right.
still figuring out what I want to do. I got extra time. Let me go back to my old school. Let me see what's going on here. And seeing those kids now, shout out to Gabe Sweat, going to Concordia to play basketball. I remember I was in his 5th or 6th grade class. Like,
Wow.
It all happened so quick. But those are also the kids that I was telling one day I'm going to do this.
Right.
And now here we are doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing for me because they're going to call you out.
100%.
They would call you out if,
Yeah,
if you
100%,
were
man.
bullshitting them.
Yeah.
Talking about how you're going to do all this. You're going to start this little business.
Right.
You're going to have this little ESPN network.
Right.
No, I
Yeah.
told you I was going to do it. I care enough about you because I wish this was around when I was in high school to stick around and rock this out.
Likewise.
Yeah.
And so does your community.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's what's really cool with the sports network.
And kids speak their mind. A lot of adults don't. So for every kid that's like would call you out about it, imagine how many adults were like, "Bro, ain't about to have that." And now you're like, "Yeah, yep, boom, here's my price."
But like as Tino knows, a lot of people don't know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because they're not supposed to know yet. I
Right.
believe in perfect timing. When they know, they'll know.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
if not, that's okay. Something when Pete and I said, we started laying out like the mission statement, what do we want to be about? He said, I don't ever want to miss anything with my kids. I said,
love
me
it.
either.
Yeah.
I was like,
Time
I'm not trying to
freedom.
miss anything.
Time freedom.
That's
Like,
it.
Today, he was 4 minutes late. We're all just chilling in the van. He said Enzo had his first fruit. I said, what was it? Look. He said a little nanner with a little mango. And I thought of that because in 14, 15 months, I want to have a little mija or mijo.
Yeah.
And we talked about that.
Yeah. Over some mac and cheese. But it will be great to see these from other people's eyes. Like I said, with seeing John and Aaron raise their kids.
Yeah.
Just to be able to do something like that.
Absolutely.
You know what? I can tell you from my perspective, I've been through it a few times. I think you and I talked about this a while back. I gave a talk to some kids at airport, and we were talking about becoming entrepreneurs. And they asked me, they said, I always ask whenever I do those talks, I go, why do you want to own your own business? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? That sort of thing. And overwhelmingly, well, I want to make money. I want to be rich. I want to, da-da-da-da. And one of the kids asked me, they said, well, why did you become an entrepreneur? Why did you become self-employed? And I said, I just wanted time.
Yeah.
That's it. That was my why. I think every business owner, every entrepreneur out there has a why. They became this because of, this is the why. And for me, that was it. My dad, was not around much when we were growing up, and I didn't want to miss anything, And so to that point, kind of a funny story, there's a kid at GFS that I'm in there shopping, and he walks up to me and he says, hey, Mr. Maya. He goes, do you remember me? Now, mind you, this is like a half a man now with a full-on beard and everything, and I go, man, I sure don't. Yeah, I'm like, I sure don't. He goes, you read to me in my 2nd grade class. I went to school with Jackson. And I said, wow. He goes, I want to thank you because of you. He's like, I still read to this day. As a matter of fact, I just started this new series. And I go, whew. Now, my son's getting ready to graduate high school this year. So this was 2nd grade. These kids are seniors now. You know what I mean? And so to hear, listen, I'm with Pete. That's number one on my list too, man. Time.
Absolutely.
I wanted time with my family. I didn't want to take away from that time.
And
Absolutely.
if we can give that to other people and knock out, 8 hours worth of work in a 4-hour day.
Yeah.
And then, some people need to free their mind and go to the gym after. You have that flexibility. We're Spooky, a man's going to another shoot.
Yeah.
That's a great, transition for him to have this steady income coming in, but also he can go knock out a video wherever he needs to.
Right.
And then for Grace, just be able to, with the sports network, now we do business during the day, and every night I'm at a game.
Now, is Grace still working?
She's full-time with us.
Wow.
A lot of people are always asking, you still serving? tables, Grace, or what are you doing nowadays? And I want people to know, like, she's the vice president of the Dev Group. Like, don't let her fool you. Like, this girl's got a percent of this. She's all a photographer. Like, you want to talk about humble.
Yeah.
She's the one that just kind of sits back and when really talk your shit, Grace. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know what, though? I like that, man. I mean, you know, I'm the same. I mean, if you ask me what I do, what do I say, Jeff?
He said, "Man, I'm just a line cook down there at Amaya's.
I just make tacos. That's it. That's all I do. You know,
it's cool though to know, but we also have our own, you know, G&D photography. We also do our own photography things. So that makes the bond a little tighter too. Now I can't talk the way that I'm gonna get to her, but we also have to realize that, okay, hey, this is my wife. This boss is my business partner. I'm gonna talk to her a little different.
Right.
But also when it's business, and we'll handle what we got to at home.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Or you'll get handled at home as evident.
Hey. They call him two-eye Dev.
It's cool, man.
No,
Just to
that's
be able
awesome.
to do this locally, to be able to work with a lot of cool people. Shout out to the co-op, even for things like that. You know, I'm part of not BTT with Totally Focused Entertainment with DJ Big Mike taking me to weddings and stuff and putting me on there. You know, Lily working for you that's so cool to be able to come into your inner network and say, before I even put a job posting out, can someone I already kind of trust need extra hours or need something with Josh working at? It's so cool with what we're doing, and we're just getting started. And just to kind of lock in with the people, like you said, that are aligned and doing things the right way and staying true to the basics of human nature. Just treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anyone dirty. I want anyone doing things dirty to me. So
100%. So on that note, what was the transition like going from employee to now? Because you like actually employ people now, right?
Got a payroll.
You know, so what was that? What was that transition? What was that transition like? I mean, going from your perspective, like, man, okay, now I've got to lead this group, right? I mean, because ultimately there is a leader. I mean, you can all be partners, but there's got to be somebody that says, well, this is the direction we're going in.
Right.
And that was tough at the beginning. Not knowing, being my first time kind of employing people and saying, okay, we're doing things this way. And this is why, if you just believe me, get on the ship, because we're going to sail without you.
Right,
I want as many people to get on now at this level that we're at, because I know the direction we're heading. It's going to be beautiful. But I had to go back to my mentors and apologize. I'm sorry for being on my phone. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
You don't appreciate it, and so it's your dollars.
Right.
That people are wasting.
Yeah.
And what's the big deal, Misty? It's just my phone. Like, let me scroll on. I'm on Facebook anyways. Like,
yeah.
No. I wasn't doing anything to further the business. I'm just scrolling. There could have been something that could have been wiped down. You don't appreciate it until you're paying somebody as they're sitting there scrolling on their phone, not doing anything to help the business.
Right.
Man.
And those are dollars that are coming out of your pocket, and that's your savings account. That's how you help the community with those dollars, and when they're being wasted. That was the first thing, Tino.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys both understand it as business owners.
Absolutely.
Guys,
No one ever scrolls on the phone at my place.
These guys.
That never happens.
They know our role. You got time to lean, you got time to clean. They follow that to a T.
But also knowing how hard do I want to push them? I don't want to lose them.
Right,
You know what I mean?
100%. It's a good balance.
I want this to be a place where everyone's voice is heard. Where I can see there has been a lot of. I'll hear your voice, but also at the end of the day, like you said, someone has to make that executive decision.
Absolutely.
This is the direction we're going to home in. I love your ideas. Put that one on the back burner. We're going to rock with that.
Yeah.
One thing, Justin, he always wanted to do a short film. That was one of his biggest things and that was one of the beauties in our time that if we get our work done, we can rock out a short film.
Right.
Because we did a great job in the first 3 hours, well, let's go take a few hours and work on a passion project. I think that's the difference with what we're doing at the Dev Group is, yes, it's employees and bosses, but not really. It's how do we all put our creative minds together? Everyone just play your role, guys. I'll play mine, and I promise we'll go to the promised land.
I like that.
If we all just stick together, don't worry about the noise. Believe in me, like you say you guys believe in me, and I believe in. At the beginning, I had to learn to trust. I haven't known Justin long. I haven't known Spooky a long time, but I'm learning to trust. They can go defend on their own. I can go find a new client.
Right.
I don't want to hold anybody's hand.
Right.
We won't grow that way.
Exactly.
We won't. It started with Pete and I shooting videos. No, we need guys that can do this.
Right.
Guys that have been to school. Okay, you handle this project.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna go find us a client.
Yeah.
And same and vice versa with Pete.
And you know, I think especially with new entrepreneurs, as a matter of fact, I met with a restaurateur yesterday, last night in my own restaurant. They came in for dinner, he and his wife. We were sitting there having a great conversation. He looked at me and said, Tino, I don't understand how you do it. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't understand how you can leave and travel as much as you do. He said, I can't do it. I can't let go. There's no way I can trust someone to do it my way. I said, my friend, as much as I hate to say it, then your business will never succeed.
Right.
I'm sorry. I said, but if you're a white knuckle driver and you're trying to control every aspect of, are they going to make mistakes? 100%. But as a coach, as the leader, as the person in charge, you coach them through those situations. I think John Allen probably said it best when he was here with us. You know, every moment is a coachable, teachable moment. Now, will you get to the point where you can't coach anymore? Absolutely. They got to be cut from the roster. I mean, that's just the reality of the business.
Right.
But if you provide the tools necessary, if you give them the direction necessary, if you coach them properly, guess what? Man, I think on average, we've got our average at the restaurant is like 6 years right now. Employees that we've had, you know, there.
And that's what I want. I want guys that want to rock for the next 10.
Yeah.
And say, hey, let's do this together.
Yeah.
We're walking now. Just imagine when we could be running marathons together. And I believe the possibilities are endless. As long as we want to keep creating and doing it with good faith and giving back to the community. We'll be driving in the car and I'll be listening to something motivational. If you're around me, we're going to change the personal development. You're going to think a little different.
Likewise.
How do you do this? Well, follow me. Come listen to a day. This is how it starts. As much as I've heard the same things, or he'll ask, didn't you say that in the last one? I needed to hear it again.
Right.
I needed to hear it again.
I need to hear it a
Did you
different
apply
way.
it yet?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's just certain things that, how do you do this? Like that. If you were going where I was going, you get up early too.
Right, Jim Rohn. Yeah.
It's just really cool, but to do it locally is even cooler, and something we haven't touched on yet was obviously running for mayor.
Yeah.
That was one of the, I didn't plan on even running until this term, guys.
Yeah.
It was someone who told me, what do you have to lose? And I said, wow, what do I? Let me get 2 years worth of knowledge under my belt. Let me go back and watch 2 years worth of city council meetings and pull notes. Let's see how this really works. And it has been a blessing, but I don't want people to think that, oh, if he runs for mayor, is the Devon Group going to fall apart? No, we've already proven that it can be left in great hands.
Yeah.
Right.
So you running for mayor again?
Yeah.
Are you really? Hey,
is this like
listen,
the
that
first time
Boss
you've
Talk exclusive.
Yeah.
This is
Let's go.
breaking news.
Hey, we're live, right?
Yeah.
Listen, breaking news.
Breaking news. We weren't going to tell anybody until January 2nd, but the Dev Group has blessed me enough to be able to step away for a second to get back on the campaign.
Bro, I'm bringing all my parking tickets to you.
Right? I better never get another
Right.
No, just
And
kidding.
I do see the way that the city administration is moving now, and I like the direction. And for me, going back to the LeBron, Michael Jordan, I'm not going to say who I am, but going up against Mayor Clark as a vet who has done this for so long and has done a very well job. I mean, you can't win term after term if you're not doing something right. But I just have my own beliefs, and I believe I could lead the city in a way that hasn't been done yet. Not saying that the way it's been done right now is bad or not good or anything like that. I just have a fresh wave of ideas, but it has to start with the people.
Right.
Right.
Well, you know what? And to that point, again, no one's saying anything bad about Bob, Mayor Clark. I've been blessed enough to spend quite a bit of time with Mayor Clark. He and Val, great friends. And I will say, again, everything has a season, right? And I think sometimes, no matter how you slice it, there is a better way. There is brighter ideas. There is a fresher outlook. And yes, I'll agree with you. I think the city's moving in a good direction, but I think that there's opportunities that we're missing because we're not looking at some of the things that could be happening that are happening in other communities. We're not looking at it from a fresh perspective. We're still stuck in that same, and I hate this fucking mantra that's here. Well, it's Monroe.
Right.
Come on.
I fucking hate that.
I literally
so much,
just seen
man.
somebody comment on someone posted about the bakery, and they're like, "Oh, all Monroe has is this, this, and this."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" Like, but anyways, my bad. But yeah,
And I think that's the beauty of it, of going back to all of this and rooting from, if I could do this with the hot dog stand, just imagine what I could do with another business. The city of Monroe is a business. It's a
right.
community business. But
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
business.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, there's revenue that has to be spent a certain way, and it's got to be
Yep.
spent the right way, and there's marketing and advertising, and yeah.
and I think it's fun. And if anything, I don't want to be a career politician, but I want to inspire somebody to say, if he, what makes him so special?
Yeah.
I care.
Right.
And I care a lot. Enough too. It's hard. And if you don't have a significant other at the end of the day to come home to when people are calling you with random questions that have nothing to do with the city, a campaign's a tough thing. So shout out to anybody that decides to step up. But yeah, breaking news, guys. We'll be back in 2023.
Let's go.
I love it. Right.
Listen, you heard it here first. I want to make sure everybody knows you heard it here first. Downtown Devon Rucker running for mayor. Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, guys. It's fun. But nonetheless, it's for the community. I just want someone that is once again back at Manor Elementary or Monroe Middle to say, I want to go back to the same seats and let them know, hey, I sat here.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
when is the election? Like, when does the election take place?
Second Tuesday
Of
November.
Okay, I like that.
Might be the first Tuesday. I gotta.
He's something like that. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Right.
You know, the thing that impressed me your first run, though, I will say this. You know, I'm a numbers guy. I'm a weird numbers guy. I believe numbers are the one true thing we have on this planet. They can be manipulated, but they are the one truth on this planet. And when I looked at the numbers when you ran the last time, the thing that impressed me the most was 18 to 25-year-olds that were first-time voters that actually got out and voted. You know what I mean? And it was like, holy cow.
Right.
Like, he actually got people off the couch. And you
Right.
didn't even, you know, and I'm going to say this in all fairness, I think you could have had a bigger presence. You know what I mean? And so it was like for what you did in that moment, in that time, I was impressed with how many young individuals actually got out and they were interested in actually voting for you, but wanting change, I think, in the community.
And it doesn't have to be me.
Right.
If it is, I'm gonna keep. Obviously, I just told you, I'm coming back. But if I can inspire somebody else to say, hey, it could be me. I hate when people jump on Facebook mumbo jumbo. That's all great, but if you're not doing anything about it,
Yeah.
save
Right.
it for somebody who cares.
You know
Right.
what? That's the one thing that bothers the hell out of me, man. When they jump on and they're
Yeah.
like, "We've got nothing great here in this town. We've got," you know, and I'm like, "Bro, listen."
And all they do is like either get up and go to work and come home, or they just
Well,
They
you know what?
sit
It's
there,
one.
you know what
Listen.
I'm saying?
I think you have the right to complain about the community you live in. 100%. You have the right to do that. But also, I have the right to say, okay, you bring your 10,000. I'll match you with 10,000. Let's start a business. What do you want
right,
to do?
right.
You know what I mean? Let's
Yeah.
go. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And that's usually what. Oh yeah. Well, if I had that kind of money, listen. I started with fucking pennies, man.
Right.
I started as a caterer, dropping off chips and queso that we were making in a little makeshift fucking kitchen in Toledo.
Yeah.
To the local businesses and started securing contracts. We didn't start with a big ass restaurant.
Right.
You know what I mean? I started with 4 people that literally, and one of them, Laura Grace, is still with me to this day. You know, and Derek, God rest his soul. I mean, that kid used to come in every morning, load up the back seat of his car, and drive around Toledo, dropping off bags of chips and stuff. That's how we got started.
I love that.
You know what I mean? And so, dude, I got started with fucking maybe $2,000. Whether we knew, and I used to tell these, and Laura will tell you, I used to tell her, like, bro, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pay you today. Like,
Right.
if we could like hold off, and she would always like, you know what, boss, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Like, if you can pay me today, great. If not, like, we'll figure it out.
Right.
I mean, she ate more free food in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, Derek, you know, like, hey man, if you could just help me with my car note, I'm like, yes. I mean, these guys were so bought into the vision that we had. They were willing to sacrifice that little bit up front for where we are today.
I love
You know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But everyone, I hate it when they do that. We don't have anything good, blah, blah, blah. bro, then come with the money.
Right.
Then come with the idea. Then come with it. And listen, we're talking to Dev. I mean, ain't no lottery winners in this room.
Right.
No,
There's no lottery winners sitting here.
No, not at all. It's just hard work, dedication, things that are words we just say, but they have meaning. And if you want to be disciplined and go without, once again, I can only speak for myself of what we did. I was wearing Monroe's original shirts every single day. Everything that I had was branded with it. So I bought into the brand, which helped people buy into me.
Yeah.
And now when I go back a product, they know it's this is the deal. I mean, look, I usually have my Friendly Forward hat on or my Pop Fest hat. I want to support, right now I got my Monroe City Church on. This is the most important. So that people know where we're at. But it's just knowing the brands and the people that you're backing means more than just here. We turn down things. We can't just work with anybody when you want to set a standard for what your belief system is and how you do business.
Yeah.
Just excited for the future, guys. I'm really, really excited to know. It's all about the highs and lows. Don't get me wrong, they're going to come, but now to be equipped. Jim Rohn said something. He goes, oh, it's a rainy day. And it's like, it's funny. It rains on rich people, too. Like,
Right, yeah.
It is really, really cool and to be blessed. With the Jeep Patriot, we just got a new company vehicle, and
I know I'm so jealous,
dude. I want to just go around and drive around town and
Bro,
go to different
listen.
events with Dev.
Yeah, right.
Because he's at all the events. I just want to spend a day with Dev.
right? I'm like, dude, I was like, I climbed all in that thing. I was like, oh, look at this, man. You can have this. You can do this. Like, oh man.
And knowing it's not it's the company. So Spooky's driving today or Justin's driving. This is everybody's. There is no van unless we all do our job.
Right.
So that's really, really cool, and just to be able to get in with a great group of people that believe in it. I'm excited to see where we are at. I'll start with tomorrow.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, before we close out, a couple questions.
Let's go.
The first one, LeBron or Jordan?
You got to answer.
And you gotta
have to have an
answer.
answer.
Okay. For me, I've only really got to grow up watching LeBron. I'm not going to sit here and say, I've Googled YouTube after YouTube on Michael Jordan.
But you're wearing Jordan, so I get it.
What do you say? Numbers don't lie, though, right? Right?
Six rings, kid.
And on
six
this,
rings.
and that many points on like 1,200 less shots. I mean,
it's cool to watch greatness, man. It's both this generation to generation. You guys asked me a question. I can only speak on what I've watched, and so it's cool to watch LeBron. Are you asking me who's the best? I don't know. I didn't put enough hours in to watch Michael Jordan to compare him. It wouldn't be fair.
Right.
Well, good. So in other words,
what's your
Jordan.
answer is LeBron. You know what?
LeBron.
Oh, hey, okay.
Next question.
All right, next question.
All right, next question. So this is for the new entrepreneur. For the guy who's like, all right, look, I got my business going, and bro, my account has went negative. I'm not really. I have clientele, but it's wishy-washy. What's the best piece of advice you could give that person who's starting, but their business is slow right now?
Come see the development group.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, serious. Like, if you're really serious about what you're doing, as people know, I'll do things for free all the time, man, and it bites me in the butt. All my guys get mad at me. If I believe in something, I'm rocking with it.
Right.
That's just who I am.
Yeah.
It's period. I don't care if it's me having to go shoot it and I give it to somebody else.
Right.
If you truly believe in your craft, get a hold of us, man. I promise I will help you elevate as much as you want to elevate.
Right.
Can't help you if you don't want to help yourself, but if someone's serious, give us a call.
I love it.
All right, so here's my thing. My last question. Development-wise, because you just got done talking about different what a typical day with Devon Rucker, favorite podcast or favorite book that you've read in just the last, let's say, 30 days?
Right now, I'm actually listening to 50 Cent's audiobook on YouTube. Go check it out. All you got to type in is 50 Cent audiobook, and it's kind of a memoir. It kind of breaks down who Curtis Jackson is, and then the persona of 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Curtis Jackson, the businessman, of 50 Cent, the persona. It's pretty cool because there is the Devon Rucker, then there's the Downtown Dev, and there's the Hot Dog.
Yeah.
It's just wearing different hats, and I think it's really cool to listen from his point. He actually reads the book to you too.
Oh, wow.
So it's from his words. So check it out on YouTube. It's free. Just type in 50 Cent audiobook. He'll be sitting there in a little chair in a little suit. Leave in the comments. Dev told me to come check it out.
That's awesome, man.
I love it.
All right. So let's close out. Dev, I want to thank you so much for taking the time, man. Thank you for breaking that news on our show.
Yeah.
I can't wait till this is released. By the time this is released, it's going to be all over town. But, it's been an honor and a pleasure, man, to sit and chat with you. And, of course, it's been an honor and pleasure just to get to know you.
Right.
Yes.
I didn't know you before you were the development group. I saw you with the shirts and the hot dogs, but I didn't know who you were. And I have to say, man, this last couple of years, it's just been an absolute blessing for me to get to know you a little bit better. So
thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeff, what you got?
Man, hey, everything Tino said, it's just great. And when you do walk in a room, you do light up the room. And just thank you for just being who you are unapologetically.
Oh, yeah.
And, and just the when I look at Dev, it's like, he's downtown Dev, but he's a man of God. He's a great husband, a great friend, and it's just we're blessed to have you in. I can say in my life, and I know Tino's same. We're blessed to have you in our lives, bro.
100%.
Thank you guys.
All right, what you got, Dev?
I just want to start off by thanking the Lord, thanking my wife, Justin, Spooky, Nick, anybody that's believed in us. I appreciate you guys for rocking with us from the beginning. I'm super excited to see where we're growing, and just remember to love your neighbor as yourself.
There you go. You heard it from the man. All right, guys, listen, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. I want to thank you, Jeff. I want to thank you, man, so much for
thank you, Tino,
sharing this platform with me. I want to thank you for the Ziggity Boom.
Absolutely.
Dude, as always, coming through. And this was a Monroe Nutrition exclusive.
Yes.
Because there's some copyright issues, we're going to call this the American Captain.
Right. American Captain.
Boss Talks, keep it uncensored, it's all hard. You could be for more walks, come tune in to Boss Talks. Got that horsepower, optimal prime, ready to dominate.